I'm weather and radar meteorologist James West with a special storm coverage update here on this Wednesday afternoon. We have an enhanced risk across the southeast and the deep south for this afternoon and this evening. And so we'll go through a little bit and talk about the weather features that are going on and talking about some of the things that are occurring in this area, some of the dangers that are occurring. So the biggest story that we are talking about right now, what we're seeing is starting out with the surface analysis, which we're seeing is that there's a low pressure system moving across southeastern Oklahoma, and with a cold front going across eastern Texas, and a very strong warm front that's stretching from northeastern Texas into southern Arkansas, into western Tennessee, and even into the mid-Atlantic. This is producing very unseasonably warm spring-like temperatures across the south and the southeast, and even into the mid-Atlantic. We have 65 degrees in Richmond, Virginia, for instance, but we have some 70 degrees and almost 80 degrees across southern Alabama into western Florida and into Mississippi. And that is where the dangers are going to lie for the next several hours. We're going to have an increased chance of some severe weather across those areas, especially in the Mississippi Delta area and the southern Mississippi Valley. We also have these areas are going to be a good chance for seeing some tornadoes, and some damaging winds in those areas. And so these are the areas that we are going to be keeping an eye out through this afternoon and through this evening. We will have meteorologists on duty through this evening to give you updates on our coverage. The thing is, remembering that this is actually the start of the severe weather season across the deep south and across the southern lower Mississippi Valley and the Gulf Coast. These are the average number of February tornadoes per state, and as you will notice, Mississippi is the state with the most tornadoes, average per number per year in February. So this is not uncharacteristic for this time of year. It is the time of the year when the Gulf of Mexico starts to open up, and we get the nice warm, moist air from the south and the Gulf of Mexico northward into the south, and then we get these strong cold fronts that still bring some colder air from the northward, and that clash produces the ideal conditions for severe weather and tornadoes in those areas. And we've actually had a decent start to the season. It has slowed down recently in February, but we did have a nice jump in January. And so this line shows you that we are running slightly ahead of most seasons. 75 percentile through this year's 48. We're at 143, so we are definitely running above normal in the tornado for tornado trends during the year. And then we are way off the pace of 238 maximum through this day. So it is we do have severe weather going on, and it is the start of the severe weather season. So we will definitely be keeping an eye out for as the severe seasons really get started over the next several weeks, several months. Another concern that we will also be talking about in this update is the potential for flash flooding. This is the QPF map, which is the forecast precipitation estimation for these areas, and we can see that we have several areas where they're expecting 2-3 inches of additional rainfall. We've already seen a fair amount of rainfall across Arkansas as well. One last thing that I want to show you is a little bit of a model output from the United States weather forecast model, and one of the things I want to really point out here is where this low pressure system and where the cold front's going to go. What we have here is we have the low pressure system going across northwestern Arkansas, and it's going to continue to move northeastward into the upper Midwest, where the chance for wintry weather will occur as well. But the big story that will be the driving force for the severe weather today is a cold front that will push through, that cold front that will move out of Texas and across the Mississippi Valley. And that clash of that cold, dry air behind the cold front with that warm, moist air coming up from the Gulf of Mexico will produce severe thunderstorms potential across Louisiana, southern Louisiana, including New Orleans area, into Mississippi and Alabama this afternoon and into this evening. And then as we move along, the weather fades away tomorrow. one of the things that you can see, we are already starting to see these storms develop across Texas and into Louisiana. This is the most recent weather map, and one of the nice things about our feature, I'm just refreshing it real quick, is that you can move it around and we can actually play it, fast forward it, so you can see where the line of storms are going to start to occur. The yellow dots are lightning involved, so that means that the storms are much more heavier and stronger. So we have a very strong cell moving into southern Louisiana right now, and we'll start to see a lot more storms start to develop and move across the Mississippi into Alabama this afternoon and this evening. You can toggle between these forecast maps here over here on the right side. This is the just the radar, the live radar from this is a live radar, and you can see it moving around, moving the storms farther ashore as well. One other thing that you can also use with our weather and radar system is our wind radar. So this kind of gives you an idea of like where the flow of the atmosphere is coming, and you can see that a lot of the flow across eastern Texas into Louisiana and into the south is all pulling that southerly, warm, moist air off the Gulf of Mexico into the main low pressure system that is currently across across western Arkansas into eastern Oklahoma. And so we also see the colors are yellow. One of the things we can always use is use our scale here on the information tab, and we can see that there are areas in here where the wind speeds are in the 30s, and so that's an additional factor in saying that there's a chance for for damaging winds with the thunderstorms, even if they don't produce tornadoes. And so that will be another thing to keep an eye out for over the next 6 hours or so, 6 to 10 hours for damaging winds, which can knock out power, knock down trees, and just cause other problems in addition to what a tornado could possibly produce as well. So I'm just going to go ahead and show you the alerts from the National Weather Service. We do have flash flood warnings across Arkansas. We on Twitter and on social media, we are actually starting to see a fair amount of flooding being reported in several areas of Arkansas. You can see that this roadway is got several feet of water. One of the things that we always want to remind people is that when you do come across a road that has water across it, it's best not to drive across it. You don't know how deep it is. You don't know the condition of the roadway underneath the water, especially if it's a bridge or a culvert that you're going over. And the water may have washed away the bridge or have left behind other debris that could damage your car, and then also the power of the water could float your car and sweep it away. So we do recommend never to drive across waterways, flood waters here as well. And here's another view of another stream that's really starting to show some flooding. It looks like it's flooding a little bit of land here off the shoreline of this creek here. This again is also in Arkansas as well. If you want more updates for this weather, you can always check out Weather and Radar USA's Twitter. We'll continue to provide information through this evening. We also have a live blog that is running live on our website. If you go to weatherandradar.com, our live blog offers information, the latest information that is occurring across the area. I'm going to check to see if there's any comments here. And if not, I'll just leave this open for a couple of minutes, and if not, we'll just stop here. We'll see about doing another broadcast in a couple of hours, depending on what the conditions are looking like across the South. One of the other things that I want to tell people about is in the areas that have danger, we do always alert people of weather risk, risk of strong thunderstorms. This appears in our mobile application and on our desktop application. And we also have a way to alert you of the dangers on the mobile app and desktop application. So if you don't have Weather and Radar, please download it. It's available for free in um, in the Apple App Store for iOS and iPad, and in the Google Play Store for Android devices. Um, it is free. We do offer a ad-free version for a subscription fee um, if you do not want ads for your on the app as well. And the app is very similar to what we have on our website. You can get the live weather radar right in your pocket, the alerts, the 4-day forecast, the current day forecast with the 10-day forecast underneath it. We also include all the important information that you would need, like sunrise and sunset. If you're in an area closer to a ski resort, we have a ski forecast and a UV forecast and air quality forecast, all available for free using Weather and Radar. We also just launched Android Auto on. We just launched Weather and Radar on Android Auto. So if you have Android Auto, you can connect your phone and get a view of our weather radar when you are driving. All right. It, it's 17 minutes after the hour. I'm going to go ahead and stop the live chat. Keep an eye out on Weather and Radar social media and Weather and Radar live blog for more information about the storms that are developing. And we will see you again maybe later this evening.